Yeah.
I happen to have 8 combat veterans at my particular table. Personally myself, I have been diagnosed with PTSD, and I've got 3 World War II veterans at my table where PTSD wasn't even recognized as a diagnostic condition until the early 80s. So now that there are programs to help younger veterans deal with the impacts of PTSD, I think is extremely important. I even have one global war on terror veteran who's a combat veteran. So I'm really happy to see that the Veterans Administration and the healthcare community in general recognizes this issue. And there are programs now to help transition those veterans so they can be productive members of our society. I think there's been more focus on it. I think this newer generation of veterans has much more access to treatment. I volunteered with the Vet Center to help counsel younger veterans who are experiencing some of the more severe symptoms of this problem. I think it's been very helpful for them to realize that there is a future for them, and that treatment and acceptance and working through different programs can really be valuable for them to be productive civilians. There needs to be some major improvement in the VA Medical Center. In general, the VA section of the Veterans Administration that deals with both medical and psychological issues. We continue to have quite a controversy on the leadership at the Phoenix VA. I think we're pretty fortunate to have quite a good leadership here in the Prescott VA, but there needs to be more budgetary support and more accountability in the VA medical system so that veterans can get the treatment they need in a timely manner.
It depends on the individual and the help he seeks. Everybody handles that differently. I know when I came back from Vietnam, I was a professional officer. I went right into a military base. I didn't face the hostility that a lot of the soldiers faced because they were going back out in their communities. I went into a military community, so I was insulated from that. So, and as a professional officer, it wasn't my country right, may she always be right, but my country right or wrong, I'm with my country. So I didn't question the motives for the war. I didn't have that. I was a professional officer, and whatever my country sent me, I was going to go. And I was awfully young and dumb at the same time. I think that the veterans who are having problems at home need to reach out, because there's so many veterans that are coming back, and we can't follow up on every one of them. Their families have to encourage them, as you heard today, the wives or the husbands. It's not just men who have this problem. There have been women in combat. So the families have to realize that their spouse or their loved one needs psychological help. So they need to step forward and encourage them to seek that. It's available, but you have to reach out. We don't come and find you. The VA doesn't come and find you. You have to find the VA.
5 years ago, there wasn't much being talked about. And now, 5 years later, it's the topic of the hour. And there was a time when it was called shell shock and it was called battle fatigue. Now we all know it's been PTSD all along. There was a time when you got nothing. Now there's all kinds of help. There's all kinds of programs. There's finances available for the guys that are struggling back from a war zone. And you know, to commit suicide at the rate of 25 a day and up right now is a tragedy that our young men are facing. And there's a phenomena out there that we have to start understanding, and it all evolves around PTSD. First of all, the appropriations from our representatives and our senators, making sure that we have enough finances in the veteran programs to try a lot of things, but definitely therapy is what helped me the most. Now, the resources that are available right now are through the vet center, and definitely the VA hospitals are starting to get it. Now, there's certain areas like Prescott is a phenomenally good hospital compared to others that I know of. So, yeah, let's just get help from everywhere you can and continue to support all the help for the veterans we possibly can. If the community would get together and support all veterans organizations, and I think together in due time, we're going to see a major difference in our returning combat veterans' healing process.